The first song I wanted to talk about is a song called "Stand." Probably the song I'm most excited about for the record. And The song is, I think in a lot of the songs on the EP are, in a lot of ways, me singing to myself in a lot of ways. But in particular, this song is something that I notice in myself, but I also notice in other people, and just kind of the state of like Christianity in America, I would say, that there's just a lot of apathy, I guess, and not necessarily with Christianity even, but just apathy in general for belief. Like the people, I think, including myself, sometimes like lack conviction, or lack the motivation or the drive to, here's this set of things that I believe in, and according to those beliefs, I have to live a certain way, and I think that sometimes there's a lack of conviction to actually follow through with that. And so I guess in essence, the crux of the song is really just kind of this attack against sloth or sloth, one of the seven deadly sins kind of thing. And so it's kind of a song calling out to myself and to other people to like gain that motivation to be excited and enthusiastic and like have movement when it comes to spiritually good things. Like St. Thomas Aquinas defines sloth as sorrow at spiritual good, which I think is a really interesting definition. And so I think a lot of times whenever it comes to living out our faith, there's this thing where we get sad about it, or we get like depressed, or like, ugh, I gotta go do this thing and I don't really want to, or I've gotta go to church, or I've gotta go, serve these people at this thing, you know what I mean? And I think that there's a tendency to get that, have that sorrow even, and so this song kind of encompasses a lot of things in that. I think one of the cool moments in the song "Stand" is actually the bridge. The lyrics are really simple. It just says, run, runnin', and hightail it from the noonday devil. And I think that part encompasses a lot of things. First and foremost, I think the running imagery came from in Dante's Purgatory, and where the slothful people lie. The way Dante cures the slothful on Mount Purgatory is he has them running, and so if you think of like the opposite of laziness or apathy is movement, and so there's this like running around in circles, and so that's kind of where that the crux, I guess not the crux, but kind of the inspiration and the motivation behind that line was kind of that, going back to that imagery. And then the noonday devil, I think, is a really cool thing that's in church history. Like it's kind of a line that some of earlier Catholic thinkers would use to talk about a thing called acedia, which is basically like, again, it's kind of like this laziness or this sloth, but I think the noonday devil is really appropriate in our age of like 5-hour energy shots and Starbucks coffees and everyone needing coffee, myself included, and Monster energy drinks and all these things that like, oh, everyone's just tired, everyone's just exhausted, and like after you had like a big heavy lunch and you need to take a nap or whatever, I think this idea of the noonday devil being kind of a source of this of sloth and all that, I think is a really cool and interesting moment. So yeah. Stand, get up and move, let the proud man lie, and the dead come alive. In the chorus, I think that the real message of the song really comes out in the chorus, and it's stand, get up and move, and let the proud man lie, and the dead come alive, and I think it kind of brings to light the idea that you have to kind of die to yourself, and when you do that, that's kind of how we become alive in the faith, and that's where all the joy is, that's where all of the excitement is, and when we start thinking not of earthly terms and start thinking of heavenly terms, things are exciting, because of the upbuilding of the kingdom, because, like, you know, we're called to evangelize and kind of be missionaries, and to kind of exist, to realize that we always exist in that space and in that tension between heaven and hell kind of thing. I think it makes life exciting. So, yeah.